For the purpose of this video, I am going to use these two brushes with this powder bronzer. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi, thank you so much for joining me here today on my channel. My name is Michelle, if you've never seen my face before. And today, I'm going to talk to you about my brand new bronzer brush from Sonia G. This is the brand new Jumbo Bronzer. I'm going to do a demo, and I'm also going to compare it to see what it applies like to my Sonia G Niji Pro. So if you'd like to see how bronzer looks with each of these two brushes side by side, just keep watching. So I'm really excited to have this new bronzer brush in my collection. I just want to say first off that it's really beautiful. I wasn't going to get it at first because I love my Niji Pro. This bronzer brush, I love this brush so much. I've completely stopped using my Rephr bronzer brush, which was my go-to before. And honestly, if you look at them, it's kind of like this brush, the Rephr 22. Yeah, the Rephr 22 is kind of like a merge between these two. And these two are like each of the features of this pulled in half. Let me explain. So the Rephr 22 is thick and fluffy and dense, very wide, okay? And you can see that the Niji Pro is more pinched. It's more well-defined, but it is very fluffy and pretty dense. Definitely more dense than the Jumbo Bronzer is, but the Jumbo Bronzer is not as wide, certainly has longer hairs, and it's more fluffy. Now, in my Facebook group, where there's a bunch of Fude lovers that gush all day about brushes, I'll be sure to link that Facebook group down below if you haven't checked it out before. And if you're a Fude lover, please join. My friend Nikki is the creator of that group. So in one of the Facebook groups where a bunch of Fude lovers discuss brushes all day long, there was some discussion about the hairs being shorter than what Sonia G had stated in her blog. And so I saw a lot of people measuring with calipers online and posting pictures of their different hair lengths and having a little bit of issue wondering what was the discrepancy here. And of course, you know, we all lean towards giving Sonia G the benefit of the doubt, but we're still trying to figure out, you know, what is the difference here? And so I went and got a ferrule. No, I went and got a caliper thing as well. But I should have done that when I first opened the brush, but I was so excited to get it washed and dried so I could start to use it right away that I forgot to even photograph it while it was dry, like before I had ever washed it. And to be quite frank, the brush looked longer when it first arrived before I washed it. After I washed it and hung it to dry upside down in my brush rack like this, obviously the hair's puffed out, and much like my hair is right now while it's drying, it springs up. So it shortened up a little bit. It looks significantly significant is based on your own perspective. I'm a little OCD, so for me, the slightest bit of difference is incredibly significant. So when there's more than just a slight bit of difference, it's way significant for me. So anyways, I see a very big significant difference between the length of the bristles now post-wash air dried than when it first arrived to me. So I'm pretty certain, well, yeah, they don't wash the brushes there and then, you know, let them dry. You do that as a new owner. So I'm pretty certain that the brushes that were mentioned in Sonia G's blog were more than likely measured before they had ever been washed. And much like if you flat iron your hair, well, if I flat iron my hair is longer and it looks a lot longer, okay? But after I let it air dry, or even when I blow dry it, it looks longer. And probably because you're smoothing out the entire hair shaft and the hair follicle, so it's able to extend the length of the hair. But when you air dry your hair, such as I'm doing right now, your hair tends to spring up. There's a lot more buoyancy. It's not as flat and heavy. And also, I've noticed that when I'm being lazy and I dry my brushes like this, just hanging over the side of the countertop like this, after I've washed them, they tend to look shorter. Even my eye brushes, like my Fude eye brushes, they tend to look shorter, the bristles do, than when I take the time to hang all my brushes in the dryer racks that I have for them upside down. And obviously, I'm guessing that's because gravity is pulling the hair a little bit further down as it's drying when the water is dripping downwards, as opposed to it laying sideways, which gives it a little bit more of like a bend in the line. So it's going to look shorter at that time. And I have noticed that with some of my fluffier Sonia G eye brushes. So I just wanted to add that caveat there. But I'm fairly certain that the hairs were measured when dry are 47 millimeters as stated in the blog post. And so mine currently measured about 44 and a half, almost 45. And so that's only a couple off. And honestly, I contribute that to the fact that I dry it like this. And the other people, I'm not going to specify every single one of them specifically did this, but I know most people tend to dry their brushes sideways, which does seem to make the hair, I don't know, more buoyant and appear shorter. So I feel like that's some of the contributing factors to the varying lengths of hair. And with all that aside, I'm really excited to go ahead and check out this brush. First, let me start off with the one that I've become familiar with, okay? And I am going to use a powder bronzer. I had considered using my cream bronzer that I've been super obsessed with, but I'm still getting the hang of this with Fude. Quite frankly, my favorite brushes for these are others, and we'll talk about that at the end. All right. I do have a specific side that I like to use more, and it is, let's see, this one. Okay. There's one that is like a slight bit shorter than the other side, just the way that they're cut. One has longer edges and this one has a slightly more tapered end. I like to use the one that's slightly more tapered to go towards the bottom of the cheek, but maybe that's wrong. I'm going to just go for it. I'm going to just do what I'm used to doing. So if I'm not putting on bronzer correctly, I don't want to hear about it in the comments, okay? I'm kind of new to bronzer, so let me live. Let's watch this application. Okay, so here's the, what is this called? In a scientific situation, this is the control side, okay? So this is the side that I already know, and I'm going to just apply that. Oh, God, look at how, did you see that? How absolutely easy that went on. I love this bronzer brush so much. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to apply it to this half of the head, the face. All right, so there's that. Here's what that side looks like, okay? I feel really weird just like having you sit here like on my face, but okay, here we go. Okay, so there's that brush. Now, let's check out the new one. Let me take a good look at the bristles. They do seem to be equally cut on both sides, so I don't think it matters which direction it's facing. And maybe that's just an accident on my particular Niji Pro that both of my sides aren't completely even. I'm not sure since I only own one. Now also, this is the other side, so like I have to like do my arm in a different way, so the application location might look a little bit different, but I'm going to try really hard to make it be equal. Here we go. And I just picked up a couple of swipes like I did for the other side. Oh, okay, so it does feel very different. It feels like it's certainly covering, well, obviously it's going to cover more area. I mean, look at the brushes, okay? This is a big difference. But I felt like this is really good for a well-defined application. Let's see here. Ooh. Okay. I do like that one better. Whoa. Wow. Can you see? It's just, now obviously I didn't do the 3Cs. The 3Cs, that's diamonds. I didn't do like the thing, and that's because of the shape of this brush, like the bristles of it. I don't know, it doesn't feel comfortable for me to sweep it around like that. Whereas this one, because it has give, I felt fine going like that. Whereas this one, I don't really like that feeling. And so I apply it differently. Like I put it more strategic with this one. Okay, I know that was one single use, but I'm really glad I got this brush. Oh, wow. Yeah. This is it. This is my bronzer brush from here out. I'm so glad I got this brush, guys. Let me tell you, I almost didn't buy this brush because I do love this brush so much. And this is $85 freaking dollars. That's a lot of money. US dollars, 85 US dollars, okay? Not to mention tax. So depending on your state, there could be up to 10% tax. You know, my state is like 8.5, almost 8.5 tax, 8.25 tax, okay? So almost 10% higher plus the cost of the brush, okay? So that being said, I wasn't gonna get it because I'm so happy with this other one, and I thought to myself, I don't need this brush. I love my Niji Pro. I don't need to spend that money. I was trying to do a low buy, so I was like, I don't need to buy anything else. I broke my low buy for this, and then a few other things followed. Well, hold on now. Disregard that. I think I also bought it. I think I also bought some palettes. Yeah, I got the Natasha Nona palette, which I was expecting to get. That was part of the low buy. The Tarte palette was what broke my no buy. Disregard the whole no buy. Okay, anyways. I wasn't going to get this brush because it is $85, and I'm so happy with my Niji Pro that I haven't even had that long, in my opinion, and it was also $85. Plus, for me in my state in America, it's 8.25% tax, so like almost an additional $10. This brush was almost $100. Like, this brush was almost $100. This brush was almost $100. I only paid $50 for this, plus my 8.25% tax on the full price of the brush. And the way that I did that was I had my beautylish rewards saved up, and I decided to go ahead and cash in $40 worth. So I cashed in $40, and that took the price of the brush down to like $45. And then I had, no, wait, how was it? Yeah. And so then I paid the tax and free shipping. I am so glad that I took a chance on this brush because this brush feels amazing for bronzer. Like, it's so beautiful to use. It just feels so good. The Niji Pro, because it's so small, like the bristles are short, like it's still soft and it feels good to use, but it's a lot more like densely compact. So the bristles don't have as much give across the skin. So this feels more like defined placement, like more detailed placement, which is also why I had a hard time, I think, doing the 3. Whereas this sweeps across the face and the brush has so much give that you can just like literally move it easily across the face. So yeah, that's my first impression so far. I am going to use this brush, trying it with my cream bronzer. Do we want to try it right now with the cream bronzer? Yeah, let's just do this all here. Let me go ahead and make my sides match. Hold on. Let me just add this because I have 2 different things going and I need them to be equal before I go adding a whole bunch of cream layer on. All right. Yeah, I'm so glad that I ended up second guessing myself and buying this brush. This is my favorite brush. If you already own the Niji Pro, if it's within your budget, I think you're gonna prefer this brush, just my humble opinion. If it's not within your budget and you splurged on the Niji Pro, don't worry about it, girl. Rock your Niji Pro. It's good. Like it's a good brush. And so whenever this one's dirty, I'm gonna be using my Niji Pro still, you know? And just like when my Niji Pro was dirty, I would still use my Rephr brush, you know? Or sometimes because this one doesn't buff, I would apply my bronzer with this one and then go in with my Rephr brush and like kind of blend it out. Now I don't need to do that because this brush does that all. The Rephr brush is pretty good too, but the Rephr hairs are not as soft as Sonia G in my opinion. So do what you want with that, but I do love my Rephr brushes. Anyhow, yeah, so those are my initial thoughts on the powder application. I really didn't want to go ahead and add cream to this so soon because that means I'm gonna have to wash it again, but like sooner rather than later. But let's test it out. We're here. I want to see what this does with a cream product. So here's where we're at so far. I'm kind of scared. I already have a lot of bronzer on and this goes heavy fast, but let's just do it. Okay, so you can see it has coated the bristles. I might have picked up a bit much. Like, this is no joke. This bronzer makes itself known. So here we go. Ooh, that feels beautiful with that cream product on it. Ooh, and I feel like that gives me more of a immediately brushed out cream application as opposed to when I first put it on with my Niji Pro, or even I often like to use my BK Beauty 101 foundation brush as my cream bronzer applicator. Just like the shape of it and the size of it. I also originally started off liking using my jumbo base from Sonia G with my cream bronzer for like super detailed placement, but that's just like when I'm trying to go super glam. For a more like everyday bronzed look, I like these bigger brushes. And I actually really like it with the cream. I can't believe that. Like it goes on and like blends it right away. That's really beautiful. Wow. Okay, so now I just flip the brush over to where the cream product is on this side. And so I'm using the back side that's clean to just kind of smooth out any areas without applying anymore. All right. So let me know what you think. Here's the bronzer application. I really like it with both bronzers. I like it with both powder and with this particular cream bronzer. I don't think it would work that well with cream bronzers that are more creamy. This particular one is more of like a dry mousse type of a cream texture. So I feel like this might be about as wet of a formula as you want to go with. And quite frankly, I'm not even sure if I want to really do that for this brush all the time, because that might be a bit too heavy of a product for this type of bristle, but really do like the way it applied. Yeah, I'm probably just going to keep using this brush with this bronzer also. Really, really enjoy that. Okay, so that was my bronzer demo. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are about the different brushes and how they apply down below. I'll be looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.